Now from House Foreign Affairs, Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman, it's good to have you on. So you, Congressman, you were in yesterday's hearing with climate czar John Kerry. He's demanding everyone go all electric. We dug into the documents. Kerry has flown on airplanes to nearly half the world since 2013. We counted 88 nations. He flies multiple times a month. One newspaper said he's taking so many flights. It looks like John Kerry loves flying more and polluting jets than he loves that more than the climate.
Yeah, it looks like it. You know, he was very evasive, too, in his questioning. It's pretty much indicative of this White House, from cocaine to Hunter Biden's laptop to anything else. They will not give us a straight answer. You can see the countries that he's visited over there. And, you know, and he's an unelected bureaucrat, and I pointed this out. He is not confirmed by the U.S. Senate, yet he has this power to negotiate, and he couldn't answer what this was costing the taxpayers in the way of and these so-called climate treaties that he's getting us into. It looks to me pretty much, Liz, like all he's doing is tying our hands all over the world and then allowing our enemies just to pass us up economically.
Is House Oversight Chair going to subpoena him about all of this?
I think so. He poked the bear. You know, Chairman Comer doesn't like that when they do that, and I'm a big supporter of his because of that. You know, he wouldn't tell about his people that he had working for him. He just wouldn't tell us anything. You know, he had no, I'll get back to you. And that seems to be the standard line. Or he just evaded the questions completely. And to me, that's as good as a no. And I'd support Chairman Comer doing that. I think he will. Absolutely.
So the State Department justified Kerry's heavy use of jets by saying, quote, he's working on cleaner jet fuel. That's really an answer. You were there. Let's get your response to Kerry misleading Congress, claiming his family that he doesn't own a private jet, not disclosing that, yeah, the family did own it and they sold it last year. Watch this.
We don't own a private jet. I don't own a private jet. I personally have never owned a private jet.
The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane and sold the plane.
You flew on that plane?
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it, sure.
This article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My wife owned a plane.
Here's the issue.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of partisan gotcha. When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good, and your family and or yourself are flying around on private jets, that smacks of hypocrisy. It actually hurts your cause, Mr. Secretary. But
what was your reaction when you heard all of that? I mean, he sits on the Cabinet and Security Council. He's, you know, misleading Congress there and has a black box role Congress has no oversight of. When you heard all that, what was your take?
Well, I knew it before I went in there, you know, to ask the questions. My questions followed Congressman Waltz's actually. And I was just, actually, I was a little shocked at the arrogance that he was portraying to us. You know, it's like me saying, oh, I've got this farm. It's not really mine. It's my wife's, but she lets me live here, kind of thing, which would be totally inaccurate. And that's just trying to mislead the public. It's completely inaccurate. And to say anything other than flying by the jet airplane is bad for the environment. It's just total hypocrisy over what they've been saying for years. And the whole thing is just it's just hypocrites. It's all it is. They're not telling us the truth. Go ahead.
This is the same John Kerry tries to equate climate change to D-Day, demands no oversight, no questions about who even is working in his office where he's spending $16 million of taxpayer money a year. He's living a life of luxury, jets, hotels, limos. He keeps saying he buys carbon offsets for his polluting flights. Where are they? What's the proof he's done that? Is Chair Comer going to look into that?
Absolutely, and that's not even at the top of the list. I mean, he's not telling us about his employees. He's not telling us about his role in our climate situation with these other countries. And the worst thing about it, Liz, is he's going to China, and he's going to be over there negotiating with the people that are, and he's saying and allowing them to say that they are a developing nation, so they get developing nation status. And then there again, we are funding things in China. That's something that American taxpayers ought to realize. We are funding funding the economy of a foreign nation that wants to destroy us. And this guy is the one helping spearhead that, by hamstringing this country.
We've talked to D.C. sources who have known John Kerry. They feel like he's been angry he didn't win the presidency and he's running a shadow presidency. Final word.
I think you better look for him on the ballot. Y'all keep talking about the governor of California, but this is the guy. He's cut in Biden's mold. He's from the same cloth. He's from that same arrogant Northeast background and that upbringing. You watch for him. He's born on third base and thought he hit a triple, and the same with Biden. So you watch for him, Liz.
Congressman Burchett, thanks for joining us this Friday night. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Liz. Hope you have a great weekend.
You too.